Guys, we are only 1 week away from the release of World of Warcraft new expansion Midnight, and nobody's talking about it. I really wonder why.
Where is the midnight hype? What's up, guys? Petco here. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but every single person from my stream is not as excited to play the new expansion slash midnight. And this is like the
Shocking.
first time in the past 10 years of me playing retail and 5 years of streaming that people are not hyped about the new expansion, etc. Today we're gonna break down all of the reasons which I believe are the main points of exactly why are people not hyped, and I'm gonna talk about what Blizzard can do to actually make the game more hypey. Anyway, let's dive in. The first one, and
Bro, how can you try to copy Guild Wars 2 flying mounts and fail at that? Look how garbage that looks. Holy, compare it directly to Guild Wars 2, it's insane. Man, the difference is off the charts. Blizzard can't even copy their homework right.
is the most obvious one, is the complete API change to a lot of combat add-ons, which I think made the weak hours stopped working, and another reason why I believe a lot of people are angry. Now, I personally
Then just remove all add-ons from your game and problemo solved. But no, you don't want to do that. You want to keep your game life supported by add-ons that are not even in your control. So cringe, dude. I literally hate Blizzard. I hate them so much. I want to love them, but I can't. All they do is make mistakes and rely on stuff they shouldn't, including the player base.
definitely agreed with the point of not having any weak hours throughout the rating counters, or at least weak hours that made you, for example, hey, click this button and you gotta do this boss mechanic, solve this boss mechanic, which is absolutely degenerate way to play raiding, and I absolutely agree with this.
True.
But the removal of weak hour, which helped you customize your UI, I think it was a mistake, chat. I won't lie to you, I have not seen a singular person, or maybe like very few amount.
Then make it a part of the game. But no, you'd rather cube crawl and drink milk instead of actually fixing your shit. That's why the game is bad. That's why the game is lame. Every other MMO has customizable UI, with the exception of Guild Wars 2, which I always spoke against it. I think Guild Wars 2 UI is trash, but WoW needs to have it. WoW needs to have it. It's an important thing, and nowadays every MMO do it.
Of people were happy about,
Or does it,
the
sorry.
removal of the UI and them having to install 10,000 different add-ons to have the same feature as only having one add-on, which is weak hours. And now you're gonna come at me and be like, oh, but your CPU is gonna go down, your memory usage is gonna go down while having only, weak hours being removed.
Bro, your brain memory is gonna go down with all of these add-ons. I mean, WoW players don't even see their screen. In case you haven't played WoW and you're watching this coming from different MMOs, you need to realize that this circle right here is all that World of Warcraft players can see when they play, okay? The rest of the screen is covered with irrelevant crap, okay? You have like damage meters, you have like UI here, you have a million more buffs here, and I don't know, someone yelling at you right there, okay? And that's pretty much it. You have add-ons for everything. This needs to be fixed.
Quite honestly, so far haven't seen any change in my CPU usage nor my RAM usage or any usage though when I have 1 week hour, one add-on which is weak hour compared to like 5 or 10 different add-ons which pretty much are trying to replicate what weak hours used to be for us. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just speaking facts. For me, it doesn't matter. I already got used to the new UI. I'm perfectly fine with it. I've spent a lot of time making it and crafting it, so I'm happy with the way things are. But I've seen a lot of people being mad about it, because at the end of the day, it's not just like you enter and you play the game. You have to enter and craft your UI, etc., which most of you are already using external add-ons to make your UI to be as pleasable as you can, because the basic information of Blizzard is not nearly enough for most of you if you're pushing Mythic Plus, raiding, PvP, and the basic UI. I'm sure with time it's gonna get a lot better to the point where neither of us have to use any add-ons to make it better, but at least in the current state, the way there is, it's not sufficient enough. I mean, let alone, for example, DPS meter. Have you guys seen the Blizzard DPS meter compared to details? I mean,
It's garbage.
No
Yeah, I
disrespect
heard.
to anybody, but that one is a little bit, let's just say SCADA in 2004 might have had more features compared to the DTO meter
Damn.
that we have right now.
Again, Blizzard cannot even copy their homework right. We've seen it with flying mounts, now we see it with add-ons, and it just goes to show that's why Blizzard doesn't remove add-ons, because they don't know how to do it themselves. Everyone who stayed in the company nowadays is incompetent, and that's the reason why the game sucks. They can't build anything new, and they can't build anything good. That's why I highly doubt they would actually announce Classic Plus this next winter, and it's going to be good. Not winter, they actually made it earlier, right? It's in, I believe it's before that even. So yeah, that's why I highly doubt it would be good.
From Blizzard, and I
don't trust
mean
them.
this in a most kind way possible. I don't know if that's even possible to say this way. Okay, so I'm sure time is gonna swing the right way, and hopefully Blizzard is gonna look at it and push the changes. And I know people gonna come at me like, oh, but this is better, you know. Yes, but keep in mind, on the 26th of February, which is exactly 23 days from this video, or even 22 because the day is already over here, Midnight is gonna come out as early access. So that's like what, 3 weeks and 1 day. So it's not just beta anymore.
Wait, Midnight comes to early access. Oh, I guess if you paid more money, you actually get like 3 or 5 days earlier, right? You get in earlier? Damn, that's crazy, man. Blizzard actually loves disparity between rich and poor people. That's awesome. You see it with the housing, now you see it with expansions. That's great. I really wonder what next. Can I pay taxes?
Or no,
that would be a hoot.
November, so it's been like 3 months. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they're gonna actually solve this problem. Another issue that I've been having, and I believe that is a bigger one, for the UI I don't really mind, but the class design. Let's talk about it. Now, a lot of people happy that the spec now is gonna be 2 buttons, but honestly I think the class pruning is something that did not necessarily make the game more approachable. In fact, it made it a bit more boring, at least for me. Now, there are some specs that I'm quite happy that they got pruned and now are a lot more enjoyable to play, but on the other hand, at least 25 to 30% of the specs are literally 2 buttons. Literally 2 buttons.
Wow.
Which is generator and spender. Now,
yeah, I mean, that was the case when I played a game during BFA. I quit during BFA because, I don't know, my heart couldn't take it no more. But, I mean, it was the case when I played. So when was it changed? And why did they revert their decisions? It's so weird. Like, it's so weird. Everyone's a builder spender nowadays. That's a real problem with World of Warcraft. Every class feels the same. It doesn't matter if you played like Shaman with, why did I say it like an idiot? Like, it doesn't matter if you're playing a Shaman with Maelstrom power, and I know they removed it during BFA. It's okay, I know that. After that, sorry. And it doesn't matter if you play, I don't know, anything else, like Hunters with Focus, which, again, I know they removed, but it doesn't matter, right? Everyone's a builder spender. It's just cringe. What happened to mana? Like, why we didn't get rid of that? It's just so weird.
Maybe some of you are gonna be happy about it, and again, that's perfectly fine by me, but I believe there should be classes that can express your skill and are a little bit more complicated, just so you can get your satisfaction with, you know, understanding deep down your rotation and understanding what you
should
be
100%
right
correct.
Wrong, you know, stuff like that. I feel like that's probably the, at least for me, one of the more important things when it comes down to WoW and actually enjoying the game to the most, right? I don't just like to press the buttons. I like to have some complexity tied to the game and have my own enjoyment this way. But what do you guys think about it? Do you think I'm delusional, or do you also agree with what I just had to say?
You know, I honestly think that one guy in the comments told me something that now I start to believe it more and more. He said that World of Warcraft is being integrated into mobile gaming. And I think that's true. Looking at the game nowadays, I mean, it looks horrifying. And also simplifying all the buttons and stuff, it actually seems to be true. I don't know, it's just a comment I got on one of my videos, and I kind of just reminisced on it now, right? I mean, it's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Blizzard would do this, but if they would, oh my god, everyone's gonna be so mad. It's going to be hilarious for me, because I'm gonna cover this on Folds, but regardless, I really hope that's not the case. I really hope it was just a random comment.
And last but not least, also the Apex talents. I also feel like at times most of them are rather passive and boring compared to what they should have been. Now, there are some Apex talents that are really, really good and make the design of the class better. But for the most part, at least half of them are just passive damage amplifiers, and that's pretty much it.
Of course, because Blizzard are incapable of being creative. That's why. They're just, oh, take more damage, take more stuff, and that's why. They can't put anything fun inside of the talent tree anymore. And that's a real problem. And you can just see all the problem that World of Warcraft has just comes to lack of vision. That's pretty much it. The game doesn't have any idea where it's going. They're fondling in the dark. They can't find their way, and that's why the game is lost. It's lost its identity, it's lost its structure, and the entire apparatus that World of Warcraft was one built on is completely gone. And that's why the game just crumbles and nobody's playing it anymore. And before you tell me 9 million players, yes, remove the bots and then you'll have the true number. And also, you need to consider that China is filling most of these roles, right? So it's just important to say that. And also the fact that World of Warcraft is pretty much the sole vertical MMO that exists to this day just contributes to the fact that it's still the king, right? Because if a true vertical MMO would come to life and it would be as good as WoW Classic has been back in the day, then retail WoW is finished. It's toast. But nobody would ever make that game because people are too afraid to do so.
Which in the grand scheme, I expected a little bit more coming from them. But at the end of the day, there's still a long way to go.
That's the problem. You expected something from Blizzard. That's the problem. That's the issue, right? Like here's the real where the real meat lies. Okay, you expect stuff from Blizzard, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, and it's not even 90% sure. It's 100% guaranteed to be disappointed. Blizzard always lets us down, and that's why I stopped believing them. And nowadays, I'm just having fun poking fun at them.
Go until the official season comes. I believe the expansion comes on the 26th of February, but the season begins like, I think 20 something of March. So it's like 4 weeks after the expansion comes out as early access, which is fine by me. Pre-patch. The last thing I want to talk about, pre-patch. This might have been the most boring pre-patch I've ever had a part of,
of
playing,
course.
and there's literally no incentive of playing because the gear that you're gonna get from pre-patch is worse than the gear you can get from Mythic Plus. Right now, most of the people in Mythic Plus are literally doing plus 40 solo or like plus 25, some crazy numbers, plus 25 3 chests. And if you guys have been paying attention to how Mythic Plus was in Season 3, the max key was like 20 or 21 with pucks, maybe 22, some extremely good teams in a...
Bro, can you remove Mythic Plus already? I think at this point we got it. It just destroyed the game entirely. I mean, I don't think they should remove Mythic Plus. I think it's healthy for the game, but they need to remove the current implication of it. I think Mythic Plus should be restructured from the ground up and built anew, and then it would actually become a drawing force for the game.
Live servers, but most of the people are...
I don't like the way it's implemented right now.
For the rank 1 title, 19s, 20s, and 21s. So yeah, I think pre-patch should definitely be better. The content drought might have been also a part of this. Why is it, in my opinion, slightly more boring than usual? But like, again, at the end of the day, you can't really know for a certain whether or not something is going to be good, at least in a pre-patch. I expected a bit more because at first when I saw the pre-patch...
No, you can. You can just look at the previous expansions and know that everything's gonna be garbage. Because after I quit BFA, I said everything that's gonna come after that is going to be hot garbage. And lo and behold, I was goddamn right.
On PTR, I was like, okay, well, that's not going to be everything.
It's not going to get better.
But yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed in that department. But that's all of the negative stuff that I just mentioned. There are a ton of positive stuff. For example,
sure, what?
Housing has been a feature a lot of people have been talking, and although some of you don't care about housing,
it's the only thing that people are talking about, even if you go to the Reddit, because that's the only good thing they have inside of the game, and even that they managed to destroy with real-life money elements. Like, even that, Blizzard managed to screw up. A feature that people waited for 20 years, it was supposed to be implemented. Like, 20 years ago. Now they finally have it. It's good. Like, I gotta admit, the housing feature is good. I've seen how it's played. It's great. And they managed to pull off some shenaniganry with new currency type that you need to pay with real-life money for.
Because you don't care about roleplay. Majority of the WoW community is gonna be happy because they are collectors, right? On the other hand,
you are dead wrong about that. This is the first thing I disagree with you on. You are 100% wrong about that. World of Warcraft is still an MMORPG. Always remember that. Always. People care about RPG more than you think. That's why they play PvE more than they play PvP. Sorry. And yeah, not catering to the RPG players is detrimental for World of Warcraft health. And we've seen it. We've seen it.
And as well, design of the dungeons also is amazing. I pretty much enjoying playing.
And by the way, you can be an RPG enjoyer and a collector at the same time. These like doesn't conflict.
Playing Midnight PTR, Midnight Beta Mythic Plus, and the design is just great. I'm telling you, wait until the expansion comes out, you're gonna love the dungeons. And raid testing is also has been pretty good. I genuinely enjoy the bosses. I mean, there were some bugged ones that were unable to be tested fully, but for the most part, I've been really enjoying both Mythic Plus and raiding. The Prey system, which is the new system coming to WoW, another great one in my opinion. You're gonna see it once we get closer to the expansion and release. I'm gonna make a tons of guides on that one, but it's gonna be a good resourceful way of getting yourself gear. They mentioned mega delves, they mentioned new dungeons, they mentioned a lot more frequent content. They mentioned 3 raids at the same time coming out in Midnight Season 1. Okay, not at the same time, but you know, in the same season. A little bit of a staggered approach to the raids. And the most important thing is you would be able to enjoy this on your own time, because I believe there's also a storyline attached to it, which I think is fine as long as you have done the campaign. And by the way, the campaign is actually one of the longest we had in times to buy in the recent times.
I wonder how much they're gonna gatekeep it. Because, man, they need to draw that content to make sure that you're being held back for 2 years before they actually work on something new.
I believe the 18 chapter campaign is
Legion was horrible at that. Legion was the worst at gatekeeping.
Before you complete the whole campaign. I had a 16 or 18 chapters, I don't remember. But I know the total amount of time leveling from 80 to 90 is going to be around like 12, 13 hours because they buffed it. Anyway, that's the whole Rambo chat. I mean, I hope you guys share my views. Let me know in the comments below if you guys agree.
Yeah, okay, seems to be the end of the video. Great video, though. Gonna leave a link in the description so you guys can watch it for yourself and give it a like. I mean, it's I understand where he's coming from. Clearly, he was being very selective and careful with his language because he did not want to upset, I guess, his viewers. Because I think he was, like, streaming at the time, maybe. So, I understand that. You don't want to upset the rabid WoW retail Andes, because they will go after you. I know, believe me, I was there. I was in his position. So I completely get it. But at the same time, brother, you need to wake up. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, this is crazy. The Midnight expansion is clearly going to fail. It's garbage. Even if you try to talk about the story, which you haven't mentioned, which I understand why, everyone's talking about feet. And that's it. Literally nothing else. I trust me, I delved into that rabbit hole. It was horrifying. I am mortified. But at the same time, it's just what's left from the community. There's no one genuine left. Everyone's playing classic or just different games. And that's it. And it's so unfortunate because it seems like the game is never going to get better because we have wine moms and labubu millennials responsible for developing this wonderful, what used to be wonderful game. But nowadays, oh man, it's just all over. And I don't see any glimpse of hope towards it getting better.